Good morning, everybody. You're speaking to Julian. So today we'll be going through our Windows installment of installing the softwares that you need to go through the bootcamp. So, like I said, I'm Julian. I will be one of your lecturers in the software engineering stream. And there are a couple of other streams that you may be exposed to, which is uh, data science, full stack web development, and then cybersecurity, amongst others. But then this one in particular, we will be installing a couple of software starting from Git. So you will be having some softwares to deal with, which are Git, Python, and VS Code. So we will start first with Git. So what is Git? Git is basically a software. Like we just need to make sure that we understand that there is a software and there's a web page, right? So there's a platform online. Git is a software that allows you to what we call version control your code when you write it. So in industry, when there are multiple people working in the same code base, then we need to use a particular software to make sure that all everybody's piece of code or contribution towards the code goes well in an organized manner. And we need to make sure that the code as well is backed up by periodically, right? So we need to have a way of rolling back if there was an error in case it happens. So today we'll be installing Git. I'll show you how to install Git in your computer. Then here I have a fresh installation of Windows. I went through that. So the first thing we will do is to go to the Hyperion Dev website, GitHub website, www.github.com/, Hyperion Dev Bootcamps. All right. So it's not necessary for you to go there, but throughout the bootcamp, we will most likely have our lectures uh, like shared here, right? Remember, I spoke about Git, and now let me speak a bit about GitHub. GitHub is a platform for developers that has been built by developers. This platform, amongst many other similar platform, allows you to interact with the software called Git initially. So it will help you to manage what we call your GitHub, your GitHub repository to make sure that your code it's well versioned and source control. But this is basically the verb you will hear a lot, source control. So, and in the context of Hyperion Dev, we will use Git to share the material with you, the lecture notes and the code that we will do in class. So now the repository that we're dealing with right here is this 2024 commercial lecture backpack. And you can see we have a couple of streams here, cybersecurity, data science, and so on and so forth. We have two main folders that will help you to just start off, right? But then let's focus on the starter pack that will allow you to basically, after me, to basically install and review the softwares that you will need to actually start your journey as a software engineer. The first one is Git. And then like I said, Git will allow you to do a whole lot of things, but we are currently in the Windows system, and then we want to install it. So what we do, we'll quickly follow the instructions here, and you can either go to Google, and that's the part I really like. You go to Google because at the end of the day, you will have to be able to figure out a way to solve your problem. So you go to Google. Of course, I'm here with Microsoft, so propose Bing to me. All right. So on Google, you can basically do the following. You can do install Git on Windows 11 because I'm on Windows 11. All right, and you can see, okay, it's not necessarily Google, but then it's Bing, it's fine, regardless of which one you like. So I download it, and then you see here I have a default version of Git that is proposed to me. I have multiple other uh, platforms, but because I'm on Windows, I'll click on the installation here. And yeah, let's, in most of Windows 11 that you would see would be 64 bits. They are 32 bits, but they are for older computers and for some types of architecture. But if you are using Windows 11, you are most likely having a 64-bit type of setup. All right. So it's basically getting downloaded, and let's basically go through all of that. Perfect. So let's close our Git, our search, and then we go back to GitHub. And you see here, we will just install GitHub, and it will be as simple as clicking on multiple buttons. So let's go on GitHub, on Git, file we just downloaded. We open the file, and then you just have a couple of next to click. And there is nothing much to change here. All right. And it will basically ask me for my password that I'll just put. Okay. Access denied, which is fine. Um, mm, let's do it differently. Let's do it differently. You will eventually not get a permission issue, but let's do it differently because I can't install it here. This is another user in this computer. Let's do it differently so that you can see that it's feasible. So I would like to install it not in the main folder here, right? And this is a warning. This step is not necessary. It's just because on this computer there are two accounts. You will be most likely be using your personal computer and your own account to install this. So this particular path will be okay. But then because I have this situation right here, let me just install it somewhere else instead of in program files. I'll install it, for example, in my documents. And then if I go to user, I go to JC, I'll definitely go to my documents. And you see here, it will install it here in JC documents get. And we have it right here. And then we go next, we go next, we go next. We just keep on going next, 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 next. There we go. And as you can see, the installation is going through in a total different folder. But then as a warning again, please make sure that you have full access and full rights in the computer where you're installing this. Otherwise, you'll be having right issues and you won't be able to install any other software without admin approval. In this particular case, we have installed Git, and that's perfect. We are done. This page decided to come up on its own, and that's good. So now that we have Git installed on Windows, that's perfect. Now what we can do, we we can basically open the terminal to basically check that Git is there. But then instead of opening the terminal, and this is one step that I haven't put here, you can also install something called git bash. So you go on your search and then you say git bash and you install git bash, which is a particular Git software that will allow you to basically interact with your repositories, right? So it's better if I download that. It's better than using the terminal sometimes. Oh, I think Git batch is already installed. So if I do Git, yeah, oh, there we go. I don't even have to download this one, so I can cancel this. So Git batch is already installed. So Git batch is basically that tool that will allow you to interact with your GitHub repository and all these things. It's most likely a terminal, right? And then that terminal will help you to do Git commands and stuff. And to know that you have your Git installed, you do Git, you just type in here Git, and then you will see a whole set of commands that will allow you to interact with a repository. And our Hello World in Git, because we installed it, so it will be to do Git clone. This is the most important part that you'll have to do, is to clone a repository. This part will be taught in the lectures, sometimes I think in the last week, week 5 or week 6. So don't worry, I'll just show you how we clone a repository. Perfect. How do we even start about the repository and all of these things? So remember, here it's GitHub, right? In GitHub, we have Git repositories, and in here, we want to pull this particular repository. So what we do, we come here on code, this green icon here, and then we copy this URL to what we call the clipboard. It's copied. Now we go to Git batch, and then we'll do a couple of things. This will also allow you to play around with your knowledge of the terminal. So what we do, we type pwd. Oh, sorry, let me clear the screen and let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay, cool. So I'll type pwd to say print working directory to know where I'm currently standing at. I'm currently in this folder called JC. So I'll do ls for list to see what other files and folders are in that JC folder. That's perfect. I have everything here. And what I want to do, I want to get into this folder, documents, because that's basically where my documents are. So I'll do CD, which is change directory, and then I'll do documents, right? And I'm in this folder, documents. How do I know that? I can basically convince myself that I'm there, but I can also type pwd to see that I'm in documents. Perfect. Let's see what is in documents. Perfect. I have a couple of stuff here, including that Git folder that I just installed now, right? Now, what I want to do, I want to do Git clone, and then I paste that URL that I just copied, and I see that I haven't copied that correctly. So let me copy that, and then let me paste it here. Perfect. So if I go to that folder, to that document folder, you would see that I have two of them here. But then once I press enter, you would see that there will be a couple of items that will appear here. And when I go back to here, you see that I have all those folders that are pulled, and then they are ready and available to me. And another thing that I can do, I can now get into that folder, right? CD, change directory into that folder. You can see the very first thing that you pick up here that is main, to say that is the main branch, right? And you would see that during the lecture, I have been going a bit forward here. And another command to basically check that you're actually in the Git repository. So if I type Git here to enlighten myself on what I need to type here, so it should be Git status, right? You see, this one is a good uh, directory, or it's a good place to check what you want. And I want to show the working tree status. And let me clear the screen again. And I do Git status. And then you see that I'm on the main branch. The branch is up to date with origin.main, nothing to commit. So from here, you have successfully installed Git in your computer, and then you are very much ready to go to start with the boot camp. So I really wish you luck, and I hope that you learned a little something in this video. So good luck and see you in the next one. Bye.